Earlier we talked about the negative relation between the price of a product and the quantity purchased. So for instance, if we had quantity of apples measured on horizontal axis and price of apples on the vertical axis, we said that when the price of apples, let's say, were $2.50 a pound, a typical individual perhaps bought 5 pounds. When it dropped to, let's say, $2, you may buy 8 pounds, and when it's $1.50, you may buy 12 pounds. So if we connected these points and all the other points in between, we end up with a demand curve. So in a sense, we said that when the price drops, people buy more. So in order to encourage anyone to purchase more, we must reduce the price. But we want to have some better explanation as to what is this phenomena has been driven by. This comes back to a very profound concept in economics called the law of diminishing marginal utility, or satisfaction. Essentially says that as consumption of a product increases, the additional utility or satisfaction derived from the product will diminish and can in fact become negative. Meaning that if you consume too much of a product, in fact it can turn out to be repulsive. So let's look at this issue. Here on the vertical axis, I'm going to measure total utility, and on the horizontal axis I'm going to measure the quantity. So when an individual is consuming 0 units, there is no utility derived from the product. When you consume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, when you consume one more unit, it gives you a tremendously higher level of satisfaction, let's say 10 units. When you consume one more, perhaps jumps to 22 units from here. So this is 10, this is another 12. Now when you consume 3 units of the product, perhaps we'll jump to 27. So this is another 7, another 5 more units of satisfaction. When you go to 4 units, it doesn't change. It just pretty much leaves you where you were. If I insist that I'll make you purchase or consume more, in fact, your utility can drop. So therefore, if I connect these points, I end up with distinctly 3 different regions. One is when utility is actually rising and rising faster. Another portion is when the utility is diminishing, when between 3 and 4 units there is no change, so the slope of this curve is 0, and then along this stretch slope is negative. Okay. Along this stretch is positive, along this stretch is positive, but is falling, so it's positive, and then the rate of change is falling. And that essentially tells you that as you expand consumption of a product, your marginal utility, these are change in utilities, change in total utility, will eventually diminish. At some point will become 0, and beyond that could potentially become a negative phenomenon, and that is called the law of diminished marginal utility. So therefore, as you consume more, since your marginal utility from the consumption of product falls, price must fall to justify its purchase.